are human rights?
Good morning, Iran. I just want to start with a big thank to you and your teachers for your foreign languages club studies, and especially concentrating on this human rights issue, which is really a milestone in human life, and it's so important for understanding the world and all the human relations historically and in the future. So again, thank you and your friends a lot and your teachers. Human rights, indeed, they are based on two fundamental things, let's say things or issues, which are rights and liberties or freedoms, we can say. So the definition, if we go for the definition, we can say that the human rights are untouchable rights and liberties, no matter what race, what nationality, what religion, what language, or what gender an individual is. So this can be a good definition for human rights.
Have we made any progress in reducing human rights violations?
Uh, I think uh, I think yes. A book I have read, which is written by Noah Harari, named *Sapiens*. He really investigates and studies on the human history, and he says the last 50 years is the best years of the humankind, with least violation, with least wildness. So it is he says that it's a big progress in human life, that no violations, no wildness are valid as it was much as before.
Are human rights only a problem in non-democratic countries?
Of course not. Of course not. I mean, it's sometimes we are misled by some sources, I don't know, the press or some developed countries, that the developed countries they say that fully democratic countries has no problems with human rights, but it's not true. There are human rights violations in every country. But the thing is, well developed in democracy, democratically developed countries has, we can say that, less human rights violation, but non-democratic countries has much more human rights violation. It is related to education, the system, the state management, so and so. So every country has violations, but some has democratic ones has less, non-democratic has more.
What is included in the right to freedom?
Right to freedom, the main thing is, as we face everywhere in our daily life, the freedom of expression, the freedom of your expressing your thoughts and opinions, ideas, spreading your ideas all around your environment in written or verbal, beliefs and your religions, communication, travel, and habitation. These are all liberty that you should have as being a human.
One last question. What is needed for perfect justice?
Perfect justice. A perfect justice, to my opinion, it is, I mean, to cut it short, it's education. It's well education. And well education needs a fairly managed country, I would say. Indeed, let me put it in this way. It's, to my opinion, it's a matter of chain. It starts with a republic. A good republic needs a good democracy. A good democracy needs a good constitutional law. A good constitutional law needs a fair state. A fair state needs a fair government. And the fair government needs fair and educated public who elects them. Then I think the human rights will be really perfect if educated people will elect educated and fair governing people.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I thank you too.
The pillars which come up to my mind are democracy, freedom, and equality. I think the worst ones are racism, sexism, and not respecting each other's choices. Because human rights are the main protection of our freedom and independence. To protect human rights, we can speak up for others' rights.
Absolutely everyone, criminals, heads of state, men, women, children, Africans, Americans, Europeans, refugees, stateless persons, bankers, charity workers, teachers, astronauts, everyone must have these rights. Some groups have suffered such long-term discrimination in our societies that they need special measures to enable them to access the human rights standard on an equal basis with others. We all need, as individuals, we need not only to respect the rights of others in our everyday lives, but also keep watch on our governments and on others. The protective systems are for all of us if we use them. Try pointing out that they have been violated. Claim your rights. If there is a legislation in your own country, point to that as well. Speak to a lawyer if you have the opportunity. Nearly all the basic human rights are listed in the international documents are claims against your government or state officials. Human rights protect your interests against government, so you need to claim them from state or from their representatives. Yes, a right is meaningless without a corresponding responsibility or duty on someone else's part. Every individual has a moral duty not to violate a person's dignity, but your government also has a legal duty by signing up the international agreements.
Who protects human rights?
The Commissioner for the Human Rights, which is based in Geneva, Switzerland, is the governing party promoting and protecting the human rights all around the world. Of course, it is supported by its regional offices as well.
What is the basic principle of UDHR?
Well, in my perspective, the basic principles are the equality and dignity of all people. And their governments are responsible to ensure their citizens for the deserved rights and freedoms of their people.
What is the impact of human rights protection on a company or a country?
If we start with a company, giving its utmost human rights means having a very good reputation and keeping up its brand image. Thus, people do trust the company and prefer their products knowing that there is no violation during the production of the goods to their workers. And if you say the same thing for the country, it is more or less the same. If the country is known to give utmost to human rights, reputation likewise it will be the same. Thus, trust in the government management and state will bring investments, which will help the boosting of economy and well-being of its citizens.
Which human rights are more sensitive to threats?
I think because of the climate changes and loss of nature, together with the COVID-19 pandemic, the items I'll be mentioning are under serious threat. People's privacy at home and at correspondence is breached. We are being followed by higher technologies saying it is good for our being. Freedom of movement is breached. We cannot travel as we wish anymore. Freedom of expression of personal opinions are breached because we are no longer able to express that we don't want to have vaccination, or we want to stay away from vaccination. Freedom of working is in favorable conditions are also breached because we cannot, people cannot choose their employment because of the high unemployment status. They are obliged to work in the works that they can find to earn their living, or they're obliged to work in hybrid working systems which are not favorable for them.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. The basic rights of every individual, from their birth to their death, is known as human rights. Every human is entitled to these rights, irrespective of their nationality, color, gender, religion, beliefs, or social status. But when the society realized that something was off, due to the enormous loss of life, horror, and abomination caused during the World War II, the United Nations signed the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in the year 1948 to propose a common understanding for everyone's rights. Even today, the world is being built based on these rights. Civil, consent, kindness, independence, equality, freedom, education, empathy, respect, justice, protection, asylum, life, and religion. It's important to be aware of the state in our world and take a step to fight against what's wrong. Furthermore, human rights are intact and served right for the purpose. In conclusion, no excuse is acceptable against human rights. We ought to fight without a doubt to protect and secure these values. We are like the leaves of a glamorous tree, sprouting gracefully. If we don't take care of our values, we are no different from a dried branch in the middle of the perishing winter.
Imagine there's no heaven.
It's easy through joy, no hell below us, above us all the sky. Imagine all the people living for today.
Imagine there is no countries.
It isn't hard to do.
Nothing to kill or die for,
And no religion too.
imagine all the people
Living like this, you.
They say I'm a dreamer.
But I'm not the only one.
someday to join us.